Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and week 3 of the van build.
And use the factory cut as a guide so it'll stay straight.
Well, now there's a hole in my van. Now turn it back now. In today's video, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the walls and the ceiling. I went and bought a 4x8 sheet of OSB board. I may have to go get another one, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to start with this first one. And for the upper corner pieces, I need to rip those down to about 10 inches. And then for the vertical framing pieces and the horizontal framing pieces on the ceiling, I need to rip those down to about 2.5 inches. I also plan to add insulation to the walls and ceiling in this video. And in my previous video, I mentioned that I had a special project planned for this video, but I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be able to do it or not. Well, I am able to do that. I'm going to be going sometime this week and buying a Maxx Air Fan. There's a place in Tulsa, which is about 45 minutes away from me, that has one, so I'm going to go pick that up this week and get it installed. Now, the Maxx Air Fan is one of the things that I am very nervous to do. I've never done anything like this before, so cutting a 14 by 14 inch hole in the roof of my van makes me a little bit nervous. I've done a lot of research on it, so I think I can handle it, but we'll see how it goes. But before I do any of that, I need to go ahead and rip my framing pieces down, so let's go ahead and go outside and get that done.
Before I start cutting, I wanted to explain exactly what I'm doing here. So you can ignore this line. I drew that line out whenever I was going to cut these at 9 inches, but I changed that and decided to go 10 inches on these. So I won't be going by that line. What I've done here, since I don't have a guide for my skill saw, I have measured out the 10 inches and then added 1.25 inches to that so that I could clamp this other board down to it, and that'll act as my guide. So I can just run right along that and it'll cut out the 10-inch piece that I need. This piece right here is actually a 2.5 inch piece that I'm going to be using for either the wall or the ceiling. So since I already had that cut out, I'm just going to use it as a guide and use the factory cut as a guide so it'll stay straight. Alright, so I've got the walls framed in. I've still got to put a piece over here. And then I've got to put one right here and on this side. and I'm gonna also work on the ceiling. But first, I've got these wires that are on the outside, and I wanna put them up underneath here, just to kind of get them out of the way. I don't know why they put them on the outside here to begin with, but I wanna put them up underneath there so that they won't be in the way when I'm framing this out. Hi, Camo.
Hi!
Stick your finger in that last hole, so will it go around?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I can't reach all the way, but it curves around.
All right.
I want it to go all the way around.
Oh, this end has to go all the way around, but it's got to come out.
It's got to go over there, yep. Get it? Okay, today I'm going to work on the Maxx Air Fan and get it put in. I've got everything taped out, so I just need to go in and cut the hole out now and get it installed. This is something that I've been very nervous to do, but I just got to get up there and do it. I'm pretty confident that I won't mess it up, but I'm going to be a little bit nervous until I get this done. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up and get this hole cut out. What I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to go through each corner and drill out holes in all four corners, and then I'm going to be using a jigsaw with a blade that cuts metal to cut it out. There's a hole in my van. No turning back now. All right, so the hole is cut now, and my camera shut off on me, so I'm not 100% sure how much I got of the actual cutting, but I have it cut out, and this piece to the fan, I guess it's the framing piece, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it fits out in that hole perfectly. So I think I did a pretty good job on it, hopefully. I guess we'll find out when it rains. So now I'm going to put some wood pieces up on the bottom side so that I can screw the bottom part of the fan down to those. I've got some butyl tape that I'm going to put under here, and then some lap sealant to go all the way around. So hopefully I can keep it from leaking. So what I'm going to do now is I've got this file, so I'm just going to go in and file down the edges a little bit, just so they're not sharp. And then I'm probably going to get a little bit of spray paint and spray paint the cut edges as well, just to keep them from rusting. And then I can start putting the fan in. Okay, I'm going to try to film this without the sun glaring in the camera. Let me get over on this side here. Maybe a little bit better. Okay, so I've run into a little bit of a problem here. Before I screw this into the roof of the van, I wanted to set the fan in it to make sure that these holes line up, and they're not lining up right. It needs to go down more. So I need to figure out a way to push this down without putting too much pressure on the top of the fan. I don't want to break it, but I need to push it down so that the screw holes will line up. So I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I pushed down on that side and it was almost lined up, so I'm pretty sure I can get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this screwed in and then work on getting these side screws in as well. I got it completely in now and sealed up. The sealant that I used is a lap sealant, and what I did was the edge of the fan, I went through and put a bead of the lap sealant along the edge, and then I went in and filled it completely in with the lap sealant and covered the screws. So hopefully I can keep it from leaking. It rained all day yesterday, but this wasn't dry, so I kept the van under the carport all day yesterday, so I haven't tested it out yet. These screws right here, there's one right here and one in the front and then two on the other side over here. What I did was I got this scrap piece of wood and there's this little lip right here that I just put it on and I pushed it down, and that helped me get the holes to line up so that I could screw it all in. So that was probably one of the more difficult things to do with this fan. Now I wanted to film putting this lap sealant on, however it was really windy and the wind knocked my camera off of my roof. Luckily it didn't break, but I didn't want to chance it again, so I just put the camera up and got out here and just got it done. But you can see how I did it. Up underneath, I still have these wires here because I haven't started my electrical yet, but those, I'll take care of those later. Up underneath here, I put some 1x2s around the edge of the fan so that I had something to screw down into besides the roof of the van. I'm probably going to brace this up a little bit more because the framing of the van right here is down lower than these are, so I need to put something else here. I'll probably just put some more framing up to hold it steady while I'm driving so there's not a lot of movement while I'm driving. And this is the lap sealant that I'm using. It's a self-leveling lap sealant. Now I've seen some conflicting information on this lap sealant. The roof of my van is not completely flat, it's got some rivets in it, and I've seen some people with roofs like mine that have used the self-leveling, and then I've seen people use the no sag version and saying that that's what you need whenever you have rivets in your roof. When I saw the no sag option, I had already bought the self-leveling and I can't return it, so I decided to go ahead and just use this self-leveling and just keep an eye on everything, make sure it works really good and that I don't have any leaks. I will be sure to keep you all updated on how it does. And one thing I forgot to mention on the roof, let me take you back up there and show you. So right here you can see an example of my roof not being flat. It dips down right here. So that's what I was talking about. But when I put the butyl tape on there, I put one single layer all the way around, and then on these dips right here, I went ahead and put a second layer of it so that everything would be pretty much one level whenever I put the fan on. So now that I have the fan completely installed, the last thing that I'm wanting to do in this video is put the insulation up on the walls. So I'm not going to have time today to get that done, so I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow and get that knocked out. Well, so far the seal on the fan is doing really good. It rained a little bit this morning, and I came out here and looked and there was no leaks, so that's good. I put an ice chest up underneath it just to be safe, and there's no water around the ice chest or in it, so I think we may be good. But today I'm going to focus on getting the insulation in. I ordered this 3M insulation. It's compressed right now, but whenever I unroll it, it should expand out to about 1 3/4 inches, I believe. And I also went and bought this spray adhesive. to spray on the walls and then stick the insulation to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started and get the insulation on the walls and the ceiling. So I have the insulation up now and everything is looking really good. I had some extra, so I went through and fed the insulation up through the support framing of the van in all the spaces that I could possibly get it into. So hopefully I won't have any problems keeping the van warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Well, I think that's where I'm going to end it today. Now that I've got the insulation in and all that's taken care of, I am going to work on running some of my electrical lines, and I also went and bought some lumber so that I can start working on my bed. All of this is moving right along, so hopefully it doesn't take me too much longer to get this thing completely built. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. I'm all right. Lord?
Hi! Look at you fast!
Yeah, do it fast. Yep. Oh, well that would have been a blooper. Now I've seen some conflicting information on this lap sealant. The top of my